Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope all of you in the fandom are having a great work week so far. Geo here, back with another podcast, and I'm still on a high right now, guys. I'm still in disbelief, and the reason why I'm in disbelief is because I have an interview that just went on the channel right now. Mr. Sean O'Connell, author of the upcoming book, released the Snyder Cut, where he documents the entire movement from very start all the way up until when the Snyder Cut was announced. I did an interview with him and got to hang out with him for 30 minutes and talk about the movement, talk about film journalism, talk about movies and a little bit of sports. It was awesome. Can't say enough great things about Sean. He is incredible. He is a really a caring person, somebody who wanted to give back to the fan community. And so he made time to do interviews for pretty much anyone who was a fan of DC and had a YouTube channel. And I was one of those people, and I could not be more appreciative. So thank you again, Sean. If you're watching this, I really appreciate it. Definitely a high point for me in my podcasting journey. But yeah, let's get into some news now. Normally, I start these shows off by covering the DC news and then news outside of DC that relates to movies that I happen to be interested in. However, we're going to reverse it and do our in other news segment first because this one is pretty big, and really not surprising if you've followed me and had my opinions on this. So, Variety did an article yesterday, and yep, more Hollywood blockbuster movies are looking to be further delayed well into the back end of 2021. This is their article, and in it they talk about how look, things aren't getting better fast enough, and Hollywood is worried. Studios are worried that they're going to have to further delay these movies. And remember, a lot of these movies were supposed to come out in 2020, last year, like the three you see right there on your screen: No Time to Die, Black Widow, and Fast Nine. Fast Nine was the first to move a whole year. I think their original release date was April, if I'm not mistaken, April or May. And No Time to Die was scheduled to release in November of last year, just a couple months ago. And now there's an article today that's saying James Bond, No Time to Die, which cost $200 million to produce, will likely vacate its April 2nd release date unless a whole lot more people get vaccinated. And we're also seeing other blockbuster movies move as well. Morbius, the Jared Leto comic book led movie, has been pushed to October 2021. And so this is not really surprising for me, unfortunately. It's going to be a while until movie theaters come back. I'm thinking summer this year at best would be the earliest, but cases are on the rise in the US. People are still out there partying. You know, Bama just won the college football national championship, and there was a whole lot of people out there celebrating. And it's just I'm with you. I am tired of this. I want movie theaters back. I want normalcy back, but it looks like it's going to be a lot longer of a wait until we get that. Um, you can try your best to control what people do, but they're going to do what they're going to do. And we just have to stay patient and look at the positives. And one of those positives, for me, it's streaming, and the fact that we are going to get some big releases you know, sometime this year, especially on HBO Max, and we'll see what Disney Plus does with Black Widow. I don't think they're wanting to put that on Disney Plus for no additional costs. You might see Premiere Access and additional costs up on top of that to help cover some of the revenue that will be lost if it does move to streaming. Because make no mistake, all these movies that are moving from the box office money to now streaming money, they're losing money no matter how good it does on the streaming service. They're losing money, and so these movies were meant to be seen on the big screen. But looks like we're gonna have to wait a little while longer to get that. So that was my in other news segment here. I wish it were better news, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about these movies and further getting delayed. What's your prediction on the earliest we could see movies? I'm saying summer of this year is best case, but yeah, I'm not I wouldn't put my money on it. Let's just say that. All right. Speaking of streaming, let's get into some DC news here. Zack Snyder's Justice League looks like it's getting a Blu-ray release. And I put this image up here because it's a little confusing for me. I thought Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to be only on HBO Max, as the tweet said. This is a screenshot from back when the Snyder Cut was announced that it would be coming during the Man of Steel watch party. And it looks like actually we are likely going to get a Blu-ray release, 4K Blu-ray. Now, I'm not too concerned about this. I thought that this was just going to be an HBO Max exclusive. Just a way to bring viewers in, get those subscriptions. I think HBO Max is not really looking toward the Snyder Cut as the only hope that the streaming service has of bringing in a massive number of viewers, because of the fact that Warner Brothers released their entire 2021 slate on HBO Max. Like, we know we're getting that. And so that kind of does the job already for the Snyder Cut, takes the pressure off. And so maybe that's why Warner Brothers is more, or at least HBO Max, Warner Media, they're more open to the idea of doing a Blu-ray release shortly after the Snyder Cut debuts on HBO Max. It will be sometime in March after the cut. We still don't have a concrete release date for the Snyder Cut. I've heard rumors that it could be March 20th, which would, I believe, be the anniversary of Zack Snyder's daughter's tragic death, Autumn Snyder. So that would be pretty poetic. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. So yeah, look out for that. If you're still someone who purchases physical media, I haven't purchased physical media Blu-rays in a couple years, but this will be the one I get for sure. I will buy this movie on Blu-ray. I'll buy this movie on DVD if I have to. Hell, if it comes out on HD DVD, I'm buying it. And I will, of course, be an HBO Max subscriber, and will be definitely there at midnight when the Snyder Cut releases this March. All right, so let's move on to another topic here. A little bit of good news surrounding the Gotham PD series that will be on HBO Max. So it's been confirmed that the Gotham PD spinoff hires Joe Barton as showrunner and executive producer. Who is Joe Barton? Well, that's him right there on the left. He is best known for, let me look at my notes here, a Netflix and BBC crime drama called Giri Hajai. I probably pronounced that wrong. No, oh, my notes had it wrong. Giri Haji. Here it is right here, which there's a translation, means duty, shame. It's a crime drama that apparently was really good. There's a lot of good reviews about it, but unfortunately, it was canceled after one season. Quote to quote, make room for other dramas, according to Netflix. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. Joe Barton is also responsible for the sci-fi drama Humans. I don't have an image up here, but that went on for 3 seasons and was very well received. He was a writer on that. So this is our guy for the Gotham PD spinoff. Now, if you haven't heard of the Gotham PD spinoff or aren't too familiar with it, this is from director Matt Reeves, the upcoming The Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson. And I have a quote here in my notes. Matt Reeves, back in August, said that the series is a prequel to his Batman Year 2 movie, with the show set in Batman Year 1. So the movie will be set in Year 2. This show right here will be set in Year 1. When a mass vigilante starts to unsettle the city, the series will go zero in on the series will zero in on the city's corruption that goes back many years and is told from the point of view of a crooked cop. So if you guys remember in the trailer, there was uh, there was a moment where Batman was getting into a little scuffle with Gotham PD, and he had to be held back. This show is going to dive into that, and I am definitely looking forward to this. I am still a little bit sad that Terrence Winter has departed after quote unquote creative differences. If you don't know who Terrence Winter is, he was the writer on Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street. He was also the showrunner, writer, and producer, executive producer on Boardwalk Empire, which is a show that I really quickly became a fan of. That I've only seen one season so far, but my God, is Boardwalk Empire great? It is great. And the fact that this guy, Terrence Winter, who departed, left after creative differences, just gave me a bad feeling. It reminded me of Phil Lord and Chris Miller leaving Star Wars. It's giving me those type of vibes. But we'll see what this guy Joe Barton does. Um, he does have some good stuff under his belt, and hopefully, he's the right guy for it. And I think we'll be more excited once we see the Batman movie from Matt Reeves and get a real taste of what we can expect from this Batman universe that HBO Max is helping create. Exciting stuff here, guys. And this last piece of news, DC related, that just came today. Harry Lennix, the guy who will play, he plays General Swan, but will also be Martian Manhunter in the Snyder Cut. He came out and confirmed that he did, in fact, take part in those reshoots. I have a quote here in my notes from Harry Lennix. And he says, I was on a green screen, basically, so you can actually film things in a way where you don't have to endanger people. But I did shoot with Zack and his team uh, back when the additional photography was going on. They wrapped that, I believe, a month and a half ago, around that time. And so, yeah, coming straight from the filmmaker himself, the actor, this is what I want to talk about here more is, when these things are confirmed from the studios or the filmmakers themselves. This is legit. Harry Lennix is coming back. He will be Martian Manhunter in the Snyder Cut, and I am so excited about that. It didn't really cross my mind until a couple years after watching Man of Steel, just because how great of an actor Harry Lennix is and how perfectly casted the role was. Like, man, there's got to be more to this guy. And hey, what did Snyder reveal? That yep, this was in fact his Martian Manhunter. This was before the Snyder Cut was announced. He confirmed this, and it only added more fuel to the fire to that release the Snyder Cut movement. And looks like we will get to see Martian Manhunter, uh, not hopefully on the big screen. We'll see. I live in Sacramento, California. I doubt that's going to happen, but hey, we're gonna get our first ever live action, uh, big budget movie version of Martian Manhunter in this golden age of comic books movies, and it is. I couldn't be any more excited. Well, that's going to wrap up the news and this episode of the Fandom United. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, check out my interview I did with Mr. Sean O'Connell on the channel. A lot of informative, a lot of great stuff. My first ever interview, and I was so nervous, but I'm getting a lot of great feedback. I got a lot of great feedback from Sean. It was a very fun interview, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. I've invested a lot into doing something like this because I love DC. I love the movement, release the Snyder Cut. I've championed it for years. I'm right there with you guys. I love these movies. I love Zack Snyder. I got my General Zod pop figure finally. The best villain in the DCEU, hands down. And I'm looking forward to doing more of this. The Fandom United podcast will be twice a week, and I'll also be doing some trailer reactions and just some fun side videos, rankings and whatnot. So I invite you guys to subscribe, join in on the fun, join in on the conversation. Leave me your thoughts on this episode right here on Variety, reporting that 2021 blockbusters are getting pushed, about Zack Snyder getting a Blu-ray release, the Gotham PD spinoff hiring its finding its showrunner and executive producer, and Harry Lennix confirming his part in Justice League reshoots. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. My name is Gio. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Grey Goose Jedi. Also subscribe here, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.